What if I told you that 12 U.S. states are quietly heading toward economic collapse, and most Americans have no idea it's already begun? As the media argues about whether a recession is coming, the real data says it's already here. Right now, 22 states are showing unmistakable signs of recession. But here's what nobody is telling you. 12 of them aren't just slowing down, they're on the edge of complete financial failure. And if you live in one of these states, what you're about to hear could literally save your financial future. Building curiosity. Do you know which state has only 2 days of cash reserves before it goes broke? Which state has a foreclosure rate of 1 in every 172 homes, the highest in America? Or which state's taxpayers effectively owe $44,500 each just to keep the lights on? If you don't, keep watching, because we're about to reveal all 12, ranked from bad to catastrophic. And later, we'll show you where the biggest real estate opportunities are hiding, with homes selling for up to 40% below their 2022 peaks. Scene transition, the setup. This isn't just another market dip. It's a total reshuffling of the American economy, where some people will lose everything, and others will build generational wealth. Moody's Analytics now puts the probability of a U.S. recession at 49% within the next 12 months, up from 33% at the start of the year. And states representing nearly 1/3 of America's GDP are already in or near recession territory. The 5 forces behind the collapse. 5 dangerous forces are converging to create what economists are calling a perfect storm. States are burning through pandemic reserves while facing deep budget deficits. Housing corrections are accelerating. Many markets are already down 10 to 15%. Commercial real estate faces $1 trillion in loans coming due in 2025 at double the old interest rates. Federal budget cuts will devastate states reliant on government funding. Job growth is stalling. Only 73,000 jobs were added in July, far below expectations. Now, let's count down the 12 states most at risk, starting with number 12. Number 12, Connecticut, the debt time bomb. Connecticut's finances are a ticking time bomb. Every taxpayer effectively owes $44,500, with $61.8 billion needed just to pay the bills, despite a $4.1 billion rainy day fund. Foreclosures are climbing at 1 in every 306 housing units, and commercial offices in Fairfield County are 27.7% vacant. There are small opportunities around Hartford, where median home prices hover near $315,000, but coastal areas? Completely off limits. Number 11. Maryland, the credit downgrade shock. In May 2025, Maryland lost its AAA credit rating, a blow that few saw coming. The reason? Extreme vulnerability to federal spending cuts. Over 28,000 federal jobs are at risk, the highest exposure in the country. Baltimore alone holds 95 REO properties, ranking 5th nationwide. However, selective investors may find 30% plus discounts in Prince George's County, if they can stomach the risk. Number 10. Oregon, the silent stagnation. Oregon's economy is quietly freezing. The state's own forecast predicts near-zero growth, with 23% of its GDP tied to trade and 5% unemployment. Portland ranks dead last among the top 100 metros, expecting 7% price declines and a 25% sales drop. Office vacancies are soaring, 21.8% and climbing. If you're patient, you might strike gold in 6 to 12 months, once suburban single-family homes drop another 20 to 30%. But right now, sit tight. Number 9. Alaska, the exodus nobody talks about. Alaska has officially earned the title of America's most economically vulnerable state. 40% of its spending comes from federal funds, and the population is shrinking fast, losing 12,000 residents each year. Yet somehow, Anchorage home prices keep rising, averaging $394,000, a dangerous value trap that looks strong on paper but weak underneath. If you're an investor, stay away entirely. Number 8. New Mexico, the double threat. Federal budget cuts and oil volatility are tearing New Mexico apart. With 43% of its budget tied to federal money and over 22,000 federal employees on the line, Even a small policy shift could hit
Fine.
hard.
These
Home
are
sales in
value
Albuquerque
traps.
are down
Others face
10.4%
cyclical
year over
corrections
year,
in sound
and
markets.
inventories are up
These
24%.
create opportunities.
Foreclosures
Success
are
requires
expected to double
distinguishing
in
between the
2024.
two and
A
having
classic
patience
double
to
hit,
wait for true
energy
capitulation.
exposure and
The
federal
investors
risk.
who master this
Avoid it.
distinction will
Midway
build substantial
suspense
wealth.
build. So far, you've seen the states that are slipping, but we're just getting started. The next 6. They're already falling. From deep poverty in Mississippi to the fastest cooling housing market in Nevada, the cracks are spreading fast. And remember, after we reveal number 1, we'll uncover the hidden investment opportunities most people are missing entirely. Stick around. The deeper we go, the worse it gets. If you thought the last few states were in trouble, wait until you see what's happening next. These aren't mild slowdowns. These are full-blown economic meltdowns in the making. We're now entering the bottom half of the list, the states where cracks have already turned into collapses. From poverty traps to real estate implosions, these are the places you don't want to be when the recession wave hits full force. Let's keep counting down. Number 7, Mississippi. Deep poverty meets decline. Mississippi sits at the intersection of poverty and economic decay. Nearly half of the state's budget comes from federal money, 46% dependents to be exact, and only 55% of its people even participate in the labor force, the second lowest rate in the nation. Median household income? Just $35,467. Greenville, one of its key housing markets, faces the steepest housing decline forecast in America, a brutal 16.6% drop by August 2025. This isn't a correction. It's structural collapse. Mississippi is officially uninvestable. Number 6, Nevada, the fastest cooling market in America. Now we head west, to the glitz and gamble of Nevada. But behind the bright lights, the housing market is imploding. Nevada now holds the highest foreclosure rate in the entire country, 1 in every 226 homes. Unemployment sits at 5.4%, and Las Vegas has earned the unfortunate title of the fastest cooling housing market in America. Inventory is up nearly 45% year over year, the largest increase nationwide for 12 straight months. Home prices are already down 2.2%, with more pain to come. This is what investors call a falling knife. You don't try to catch it on the way down. Wait 6 to 12 months for stability before even thinking about entering. Number 5, Louisiana, America's worst housing market. If there's one state that defines housing market disaster, it's Louisiana. New Orleans ranks as the worst-performing housing market in the country, with prices down 7.1% year over year and projected to fall another 5.8% by August 2025. Half the state's revenue, 50%, comes from federal funds, the highest in the nation. And with 19% of residents living in poverty, the math simply doesn't work. Homes are sitting longer, an average of 74 days on market, while inventory keeps climbing, up 24.5% year over year. This is another value trap. The only viable plays here are ultra-distressed deals at 50% discounts, but even then, you're walking through a minefield. Number 4, Illinois. Decades of fiscal mismanagement. For decades, Illinois has been the poster child for budget dysfunction, and now it's catching up. The state ranks 48th in the nation for fiscal health, with every taxpayer effectively owing $38,800 just to cover existing obligations. Total unfunded liabilities? A staggering $172.8 billion. Even with a growing economy, Illinois is projecting a $3.20 to $5.10 billion deficit for 2026. The teachers' retirement system is only 33 to 35% funded and expected to run dry within 20 years. And the housing market? Foreclosures tie for the highest rate in America, while Chicago alone holds 1,976 REO properties, more than any other city. Commercial office vacancies sit near 19%, and rents have collapsed to $27.30 per square foot. Investors beware. Illinois real estate carries elevated risk across the board. If you must invest, look at suburban collar counties, not Chicago itself. Number 3, New Jersey. 2 days from financial disaster. This one's shocking. New Jersey has the worst fiscal health in the United States, and here's why. The state has only 2 days of operating reserves before running out of money. Every taxpayer owes $44,500, And the teacher's pension fund is just 34.7% funded, the lowest in the nation. Foreclosures are exploding, 1 in every 359 homes statewide, and in Atlantic City, it's even worse. 1 in every 200 homes is in foreclosure. Commercial properties aren't spared either, 19.4% office vacancy, with 42 new foreclosures every month. Median home prices are up 19% year over year to $539,000, a clear bubble signal in a collapsing market. Verdict: uninvestable, unless you're buying foreclosures at 50% discounts or better. Number 2, Florida. 9 bubble markets and a 40% discount window. Now we reach the Sunshine State, and it's anything but sunny right now. Florida is ground zero for America's next real estate reckoning. It has 9 of the top 15 most overvalued housing markets in the country. Miami earned the #1 global bubble risk rating from UBS. Tampa is overvalued by 42.5%, the highest in the nation. North Port, 37 to 40%. Cape Coral, 37.6%. And here's where opportunity hides inside the chaos. Cape Coral home prices are already down 10% from their peaks, with more declines ahead. Lakeland now has the highest foreclosure rate in America, 1 in every 172 housing units. Statewide, Florida ranks second nationally in foreclosures, at 1 in every 420 homes. Rental vacancies have jumped to 10%, about 47% higher than the national average. But the real storm comes from the insurance crisis. Hurricane Ian caused nearly $113 billion in damage. Insurance premiums have skyrocketed, and HOA fees are up over 15% year over year. Still, and this is key, Florida's long-term demographics remain strong. Population growth, migration trends, and income inflows will eventually support recovery. Here's the investor play. Target foreclosures and distressed assets in Cape Coral, North Port, Lakeland, and Punta Gorda at 30 to 40% below their 2022 peaks. Commercial investors should look at distressed multifamily properties from overleveraged developers showing 11% plus vacancy rates. This is where the next big opportunity may emerge, if you have the patience to wait out the storm. Suspense transition toward Part 3. So far, we've seen how deep the cracks run, from bankrupt states to bursting housing bubbles. But what if I told you that the biggest opportunities are still ahead?